welcome into Primetime. I'm your host, Barbara Marvel. With me is Dennis Kelly, my husband and co-host. Hi again.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic.
It looks like your voice is back and
Yep,
all
finally.
that. We missed you last Monday because of your congestion and coughing and everything.
Yeah, I was doing a cleansing and I over-cleansed.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, you look really nice and clean.
Good.
Anyway, we look like two Easter eggs today or something. Did you get the purple memo?
No, you dressed me funny.
Oh, is that what it
Yeah.
is? Okay. Well, anyway, welcome in. We have a great show planned for you. We're going to be talking about some really wonderful topics today. And I am so excited because you're so excited about talking about our Wisdom of the Ages. For many of you that are familiar with Wisdom of the Ages, it's all about what we've learned over the years through research, and my husband's always researching the researchers, and we try to bring you information that could be controversial in some aspects, others that we bring to you that's always based on science and medical documentation and tried and true methods that have worked for us. So what we're going to be talking about today is unlimited possibilities. Or actually, that could even be limited possibilities. Do you think we limit ourselves with what we would like to accomplish in life?
No, we certainly don't. In fact, most everybody will agree that as human beings, our potential is unlimited.
Unlimited.
That's right, absolutely. I think 9 out of 10 people agree with that. The unfortunate thing is most people only use from a quarter to a third of the potential, which is a shame because we have this wonderful potential. Inside of all of us is a world champion. But the key thing is bringing that world champion out. And you know, when you talk about that potential, that unlimited potential, is you have to really get to know what it's all about. You have to go to two different sources. One source is theology or religion. The other source is science, especially in quantum physics. And you can't really underestimate that power. And I like to relate to that unlimited potential as power. So if you go to a theologian, you ask him, what is this power? Then the theologian is going to say it's a 3-letter word, God. And in other parts of the country, it's Allah, Buddha, Confucianism, and in California, you got over 100 different types of gods.
Okay.
So, and God has this unlimited potential, obviously, from the theologian standpoint. Then you go to the scientists, the quantum physics, and they'll tell you that if you could take the electrical atoms from the hydrogen atoms, or electrical energy from the hydrogen atoms, I'll get it straight, then you could have 11 kilowatt per hours of energy from any human being. And if a 150-pound person could light up the North American continent, if you could take the electrical energy from its hydrogen atoms, which is quite profound.
That is profound.
Yes. And if you had a condemned killer, you could put them hook them up and light up the North American continent with the energy if you could figure out a way to do that. Of course, I'm obviously just joking.
It's amazing when you stop to think of the power that we have within us and the electrical energy, and not to mention what's going on in the brain. The brain is just, it fascinates me all the time. In fact, I was saying earlier, I feel like as I've added more years to my life, there's more stuff up in this brain of mine. Well, the one thing that I've often wondered is, what is it that holds some of us back from reaching those unlimited possibilities? What is that?
Well, the first thing is you have to know you have this power. Because most people underestimate themselves. In fact, they have no conception of what there is as far as the potential goes. And once you realize that you have unlimited potential, that's when really the fireworks begin. You have to ask yourself, when you set a goal and want to do something, what do I have to believe to be able to make that goal? So you have to fortify yourself with a very strong belief system. In other words, believing that you can do it, believing that it's going to take a lot of hard work and training for that particular event or whatever it may be, believing in yourself, believing in the system. So once you set up a belief system like that, then the fireworks really begin. And in the East, and tied in with a quantum physicist, they look at every human being as energy. And the quantum physicists will tell you that we're 99.9% energy and 1/2 of 1% information, or our body, I should say, and information. So when you realize those things, it makes it much easier to harness into this phenomenal power. And there's different names for it too. For example, Albert Einstein called it zero-point energy. And of course, in the concepts in the quantum physics, they say if you could take a cupful of the zero-point energy, you could boil the oceans, the Earth's oceans, from just that one cup of the energy if you could harness it properly. We haven't figured out how to do that yet, but we're working on it. And so when you realize it from that standpoint, and the fact that if you took the electrical energy from our hydrogen atoms, we could have that type of power where we could light up the whole North American continent at a 150-pound person. I mean, it really makes you realize how potential this energy is. And the Russians call it bioplasmatic energy, the Indians call it prana, and the Hebrews call it ra, and the Chinese call it chi, the Japanese call it ki. And there is actually 6 parts to that chi energy. There's universal chi, where it circles the universe, that we can tap into once we learn how to do that. And then there are 5 other stages of chi, and they all work hand in hand with the universal chi. Now, there are actually 4 levels. The 5th level is our personal chi, which is a sum total of the other 4 forms of chi. There is the pectoral chi, which is the chi that we inhibit from our lungs. In other words, we exhibit from our lungs. And the pectoral chi, it has a lot to do with our breathing and our nervous system, our lymphatic system. So once we realize that we have that type of chi, then what you do is you guard your breathing, you learn how to breathe, and that helps that form of chi. Then we have nutritional chi, which relates to the food we eat. So if we have poor diet, poor food, then our nutritional chi is limited. So we do have control of that to a great degree. And then there is the what we call defensive chi. That's our immune system, and that's towards the outer part of the body and our skin and so on. And that's our first line of immune defense. The IgA level of defense is that defensive chi. And again, we can help the nutritional chi and defensive chi by eating the right foods and not eating too much. And then there's the prenatal chi. That's the chi we inherit from our parents. This is an interesting form of chi because we're limited with that chi by what our parents are, at least up until just recently. Because I figure there's nothing you can do to improve the what we call the prenatal chi. So if we get weak chi, which is weak genes from our parents, then there's not much we can do about it. But now, in the last couple of years, that's not true anymore. Because with superfoods, with the new scientific way of combining our foods and the type of exercise that we do now, and the correctness in being able to change our environment or blend in with our environment, we can actually change the DNA structure to a degree.
Well, you've done that. You've really
Well, yeah,
done
I
that.
come from very poor genes.
Yeah.
My mother was in and out of more hospitals and nursing homes than most doctors. My father died at 53 of a massive coronary. And most of my relatives ended up with diabetes, with all types of diseases, coronary diseases and so on. So I have actually begun to realize how important what I teach, as I teach it more and see the results, it makes me believe in it even more.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, you know, this whole energy thing, and I think people are really getting more in tune to it. They want to know more. People are seeking other ways to improve their personal growth and development. And when we talk about when we go to our classes and we teach Tai Chi and Qi Kong, there's a lot of what you had just mentioned that we do because of the deep breathing, but then sprinkling in and weaving a lot of the tips on what to eat, what not to eat. And I mean, food has energy, let's face it, and we're feeding our temples. It would be a good idea to feed the right things, and even if we cheat once in a while, that's not going to hurt us too awfully bad, but just watching all that. So what you're basically saying is we can adjust our energy levels. We can adjust that power. And even if we grew up in a family where maybe we weren't encouraged to be the best we could be, or maybe we were sort of downtrodden and really told that we really weren't worth that much, like the story that you always share, like in your book and in your movie and everything, there's a lot of people from our generation that was kind of raised that way, and they stayed that way. They didn't overcome, or they didn't change their belief system, and you can. That can be changed if you just have that knowledge on how to do that. In other words, if you were told that you weren't worth very much as a child or whatever, and you get that ingrained in your brain, you're going to grow up as an adult thinking that. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. In fact, it's funny, in biology class when I was in high school, they said if you take and melt down all of our minerals in our composite of our body, would be worth $32.
Really?
Then I'd come home and my stepfather would say, you're not worth 2 cents.
Wow.
So you can see the paradigm I had to overcome, which was a lot. And then once you realize that, then you really can do something about it. The first thing is to have the knowledge. And the second thing is to have the belief system.
So where do we start with the knowledge? Just dig right in.
Well, the knowledge comes from seminars and books, and I sort of over the period of the years become an eclectic, where I research the researchers. Because for me to do all the research, I'd have to live to be 400 years of age. Obviously, I'm not going to live that long, no matter what I do. So anyway, it was over a period of time. Started out as a self-serving thing, because at 35 years of age, I was overweight. The doctor said I had high blood pressure, wanted to put me on cholesterol medication, and told me that if I didn't do something, I'd be a good candidate for a heart attack or a stroke. So that was a rude awakening. And then, of course, a couple weeks later, after that doctor's visit, my father passed away of a massive coronary. So that's when I got involved in the martial arts and had the opportunity to work with some of the world's most physically fit individuals, most remarkable human beings, superhumans I call them, were in their 80s and 90s. Their students still couldn't best them as far as sparring or whatever, and doing miraculous things at that age. So it really made me realize that what I need to do is take those lessons and break it down into a simpler form of information where the average person doesn't have to become a martial artist to achieve that kind of success. And I consider pretty successful at doing that because of the fact that it has affected my life in such a way that, you know, I can make claims of what it did for me so that I give it a good, strong belief system. Other people can see being able to compete in my 70s in fighting in full contact point karate, that the system does work. And I make it perfectly clear, I'm not a great athlete, at least I wasn't. You know, I come from all those poor genes, but I did the food bit, I did the exercise bit. It's a matter of balancing the mind, the body, and the spirit. Like the mind is the map, the body is the vehicle, and the spirit is the fuel. And if any of those things are off kilter, then the whole thing really collapses. And it's all about energy. So disease is trapped energy. Once you learn to detox and do all those things to keep that energy flowing, you can reach a level of health and fitness that very few people even dream about, let alone exist.
And you change that paradigm, you can too. If you can relate to what we're talking about, we're going to continue on. We have a little break coming up, and it's always exciting to share how we can change our belief system and change the paradigm. If you were growing up and maybe, you know, didn't think that highly of yourself and you've carried that on into your adult life, there's so much we can do about that. In fact, both of us are walking examples because I sort of had that little paradigm as well growing up. And to change it, it's just a matter of having that powerful, passionate drive, and you can do it. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have so much more, and we also have a very special guest that's coming up in the show that might also be able to contribute to us changing our belief systems and maybe answer some questions as to why we are the way we are today. We'll be right back after this.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B.
Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Hi, I'm Derek Brooks, former linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. During my NFL career, I realized the importance of giving back and started my foundation, Derrick Brooks Charities. We help Tampa Bay youth prepare for a successful life through our college prep and mentoring programs. Our goal is to see youth excel academically and develop strong characters and be better citizens for tomorrow. To further our mission, we've teamed up with Fun Night, a company that gives members access to thousands of nationwide discounts on products and services they buy every day. These include entertainment, retail purchases, dining, and travel. Best of all, 33% of every membership fee goes to the charity of your choice. We love being able to save our supporters money while giving them a unique opportunity to support our charitable work in the community. I invite you to consider using Fun Night to save money and give back to your favorite cause. Visit www.funnight.us to sign up now and get a free 30-day trial. Save money, help others with Fun Night, and support Derrick Brooks Charities.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B.
Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today. This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
The environment here is really kid-friendly, family-friendly. The parents are welcome to watch.
It's definitely been a different atmosphere since Dr. Becerra has come on. It's very inviting and welcoming, and the children just enjoy coming here all around.
My middle son did not like to come to the dentist, but now he loves to come to the Beehive.
You don't have to be afraid to go to the dentist.
Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Mortgages don't need to be complicated. At Norcom, we're here to guide you through the process. By following our tried and true path to success, we make homes happen. To get started, give us a call or apply online. A trusted mortgage consultant will reach out to you to find out what your goals are. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new home or refinance your current home, we are dedicated to helping you achieve your goals. At Norcom, we'll provide a best-in-class customer experience. Once a plan is established, your mortgage consultant will analyze your income, assets, and credit profile in order to customize a plan for you. If you're planning on moving in the next few years, we might suggest an adjustable rate mortgage to be the best option for you. If you're a veteran, we'll get you started on a VA loan with 0% down. And if you're thinking long-term, a 30-year fixed loan might be your best fit. Our professionals are up to date on market trends and will help you make the best decision in choosing your rate. After we've found the program that's best for you, we'll then need to collect some information, including pay stubs, bank statements, and tax forms. Our underwriting team steers a loan through the approval process to verify that all the information you've provided is correct. As the underwriting process is taking place, an appraisal is ordered to determine the value of your home. A professional, local appraiser specializing in your area will determine the home's value. The last leg of this journey is closing your loan. While taking care of any last-minute details, our closing team will work on scheduling your closing date and location. It's that simple. Thank you for taking some time to walk through the mortgage path with us. Remember, we're always here to answer any questions you may have. It may seem intimidating, but here at Norcom Mortgage, we make homes happen.
Hi everyone, welcome back into Primetime. I'm your host Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is my co-host Dennis Kelly. Gosh, this hour goes by really fast,
Fastest
doesn't it?
hour in the world.
Yeah, I tell you. Well, you know what? We have a great guest coming up in a little bit, and we're kind of leading up to that. Doug Casimiri, who is into past life regressions, and we'll be telling you a little bit more about that. But just before the break, we were talking about energy, the power of energy, and unlimited possibilities. And I tell you, it's taken me many years in my life experience to believe that. I mean, really believe that in the pit of my soul, because of the accomplishments that both you and I have acquired and achieved over the years together, and then even separately as a solo human being. I mean, with you, what you've accomplished at your age, 5-time world championships, beating all odds, being a poor athlete, being told that you were worth but 2 cents, and you overcame all that. I mean, that has to take a lot of mind power to squelch the belief system that others were trying to make you think that you were at that time.
Well, you know, when you think of this power, you can't exaggerate it because there's no limit to it. And when you realize, like I mentioned, how to utilize that power, and it comes from, like I say, some simple things. It's not that complicated. And the Tibetan monks had what they call the 5 power principles. And when I do corporate wellness seminars and speeches, I always refer to those 5 power principles of the Tibetan monks, because it helped make them the most physically fit, mentally fit, and emotionally fit people in all of Asia back hundreds of years ago. And they still use a lot of these principles. First principle is movement. Mm-hmm. You know, all kinds of movement. Most people, they suffer from hypokinesis, lack of movement. With the computer now and the TV set, we don't move enough. And that's a great reason why people die prematurely. They accumulate more toxins than they release because they're not moving enough. And I don't mean movement like just lifting weights at the gym. I mean just fluid-like, dance-like movements, excuse me, throughout, you know, the week and the day. And
being active.
Being active,
Yeah.
right. Being active. We sit down too much. We can't get off of that's the reason we don't do too much. Sometimes we can't get off of our butts. I mean, I can do this, but I don't have the energy. That's
Right.
the but I meant.
Right.
So anyway, that's the first power principle. Second power principle is breathing. How we breathe in some ways is more important than what we eat when it comes to being healthy. And just several times a day doing deep breathing can add years to your life and life to yours. Inhale to the count of 5 through the nose, exhale to the count of 7 through the mouth. And what you're releasing is a gas called nitric oxide from the upper phalanges of the nose. Nitric oxide is nature's greatest anti-aging gas, and it's free. I always tell my students, if you don't do your deep breathing now and get the free oxygen, later on you're going to have to pay for it in some way or other. So the breathing is so very, very important, and it also helps reduce stress. I tell all my students in the morning when you wake up, do 10 deep breaths, inhale to the count of 5, exhale to the count of 7. In the afternoon between 1 and 4, and right before you go to bed, or anytime you feel stressed out. Mm-hmm. And it's so simple. It doesn't, like I mentioned, if you do it early on, it doesn't cost you anything. Then the third is concentration. How we concentrate is so very important when it comes to finding the goals that you want to meet, finding good health. You have to be able to focus on positive things. There's an old saying that attention is the weapon of the super warrior. Attention develops concentration. Concentration helps develop spiritual power. And spiritual power is the mightiest force in existence. All comes from that focus and concentration. Nothing good can ever be accomplished. No goals can ever be made unless you learn how to focus. The martial art taught me that one thing above all the other things, be able to focus. That's why any goal I've ever set since I've been involved with the martial arts, and you don't have to be a martial artist to do that. I'm giving you the simple formula. I've always been able to make. And sometimes it was so easy it was hard to believe. And then the next one is relaxation, being able to relax. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You can't, excuse me, you can't relax unless you learn how to concentrate.
Or focus.
Yeah, well, it all goes hand in hand.
Exactly.
It takes the ability to focus and concentrate to be able to relax. And relaxation is so great. And there's actually what we call motion relaxation, where you're doing Qigong and being able to meditate in motion, being able to relax as you're moving. That's the easiest form of relaxation in the world. Because most people in the West, when they sit down to relax, they get this mind chatter. They can't get that out of their head. So it's hard to relax. They start thinking of paying the bills. They start thinking what they're going to cook for dinner. So But when you're moving and relaxing in the art of Qigong and Tai Chi, then you don't have time to get out of that realm. You are really focused on what you're doing. So you're integrating the mind with the body, with the emotion. And then number 5 of the Tibetan power principles is attitude. They have an attitude of gratitude. Their attitude is they are energy beings, and they need to work at keeping that energy flowing. And they also believe in doing kind things, because of course kind things actually help promote good chemicals, good hormones in the body. In fact, it's funny, there's research done, and people that are witnessing an act of kindness will actually release the same hormones as the person that's actually doing the kindness.
I've heard you say that before, and that's profound.
Yeah, and in fact, Deepak Chopra talks about in many of his books that a tear of joy is completely different chemicals in a tear of fear or anguish or anger. So even the body's chemistry is controlled by the way we think, and so their attitude is a very important thing. I can tell you this from my experience, and I have no equivocations about saying this. You can take all the vitamins in the world. You can do all the right exercises in the world. But if your attitude is not of gratitude, and you can't learn to control that, I call it high emotional IQ, being able to control that attitude, then all that is going to be for nothing. It's not going to really help.
You know, there is so much truth to that because this one word, gratitude, can really and truly make all the difference in the world. That's the one thing that can get you out of a funk. It's the one word that can just put you into that place where you can change your belief system. If someone has wronged you, if you're going through a rough financial crisis or whatever it might be, when we stop and think about the power of that one word, and that's where we go back to talking about the unlimited possibilities. First of all, we need to adjust those brain chemicals to where we're thinking properly and feeling properly, and that's what the wisdom of the ages and our segment here on Primetime is really all about, to help you live the very best prime time life anytime. It's not about being a senior citizen living in their prime time. It's about being a younger person. If you're in any generation, we want to live the best. You know, when you think about prime, you think about superior, like a prime rib, prime steak. Living in your prime is no different. But unless you can help yourself get there, what good is it? You accept the idea that, okay, we're going to get old, and now I'm going to just start slumping in to that mindset. And what did you say? Was it Deepak that said that? The precognitive, what was that word?
He talks about aging as the precognitive commitment. In other words, where we see other people getting old at a certain age, we feel we should get old at that
like
certain
we're
age.
supposed to do that.
Yeah, Ellen Langer of Harvard did great research with geriatrics. She took a group of geriatrics for a 10-day retreat up in the mountains, and they had to do several things. First of all, they had the most extensive physical, mental, and emotional testing ever done on human beings to determine a biological age of each of the seniors. Then when they got to the retreat, in the 10 days they were there, they had to dress like they did 20 years ago. And all the discussion that they had was things that happened 20 years ago. So when they came back from the retreat, the most amazing thing they discovered, that when they did the retesting, that the group of 10 of the seniors, or I should say the group of seniors for the 10 days, they actually had reversed their aging from anywhere 3 to 5 years biologically, just by talking back 20 years ago and reading newspapers from 20 years ago. The men were talking about Floyd Patterson 20 years ago, because this was in the 70s. So then they were talking about things in the 50s.
So is that the feel-good chemicals that was going into their body from that era?
Yeah, and also when you're thinking back and when you're younger, you're releasing some of the same hormones that you did when you were younger that you don't release anymore. That comes from Deepak's research.
Yes, yes, very good. I can never say that word, so I have to rely on you to bring that out. But you know, it does go back to our unlimited potential, unlimited possibilities, and taking away the roadblocks. Sometimes it's not that easy to do, but I think where there's a will, there's a way. If you want to become more of a growth-seeking individual and looking for some personal growth and development, you've come to the right show. We're here live at 5 on Mondays, and we're going to be bringing you more and more guests for you to decide which way you want to go. In fact, we do have a Wisdom of the Ages meetup that we're going to to be doing this Thursday local in our neighborhood at Crescent Oaks. We'd love to have you join us if you live in the area. These are going to be monthly gatherings where we sort of get together and network and talk about how we can help one another improve ourselves, which in turn improves the community and improves our businesses and livelihood. Gosh, we already have a break coming up. One last couple of one-liners.
Well, I think I want to go back to attitude.
Okay.
And I mentioned that the most important thing about attitude is having a high emotional IQ. A great book written by Anna Weiss, The High Performance Mind, she referred to a high performance mind is one that at ease, at that age, that you feel is most desirable and beneficial, that you can control those emotions at any given time. In other words, a high performance mind is one that at ease can reach that state of consciousness most desirable for any given set of circumstances. And a high emotional IQ, I like to refer to, at the turn of the century, was one of the worst discoveries. Binet, the Frenchman, discovered the IQ test. And that's one of the worst things that ever happened to our schools.
Why is that?
Because when somebody's labeled a certain IQ, then they put so much emphasis on the IQ. Some of the world's smartest people are working for some of the world's dumbest people. Mm-hmm. It's all of that emotional IQ. The ability to handle your emotions is more important than any other single factor. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but 85% of your success will have to do with your ability to get along with people and control your emotions. The 15% is the product knowledge, the service knowledge of your career.
Very good. Wow, you just let that roll. I love it.
It's exciting stuff.
It is exciting stuff.
It's the key of why I've been able to do what I have under the worst conditions.
That's right. In fact, we are going to be doing a workshop coming up in October locally. It's going to be about how to master your EQ, not your IQ. That's your emotional intelligence. There's a lot of truth to that because you really do have to really grow up and really hit some hard targets in order to achieve that. But it can be done. So we're going to be talking about that. And it looks like we are going to take another little time out. And Doug Casimiri is going to be coming up. Very interesting. Do you think
they're going to enjoy Doug? They really
yes,
are. I've had
yes.
some nice conversation. He's quite a remarkable person.
I know. He attended our seminar last Friday evening. It was really nice. Do you think you were here before in a past life?
Oh, absolutely.
I think I was too.
Yeah, I had past life regression done to me, and it was really fascinating. It ties in, and I could see now in my when I was a kid in puberty, I could see some of the things that tied in with my past life.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know we did that with Deepak. We did the past life regression, and I saw myself as a ballerina and a singer.
That's why you love dancing. You'd rather dance than eat.
I know, isn't that the truth? So I haven't done it yet with Doug, but I think we are going to hook up with him and see what he has to say.
Well, we're glad to have him part of our team.
I know, it's great. So stick around, get your favorite beverage, and we will be right back right here on Prime Time. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B.
Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Hi, I'm Derek Brooks, former linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. During my NFL career, I realized the importance of giving back and started my foundation, Derek Brooks Charities. We help Tampa Bay youth prepare for a successful life through our college prep and mentoring programs. Our goal is to see youth excel academically and develop strong characters and be better citizens for tomorrow. To further our mission, we've teamed up with Fun Night, a company that gives members access to thousands of nationwide discounts on products and services they buy every day. These include entertainment, retail purchases, dining, and travel. Best of all, 33% of every membership fee goes to the charity of your choice. We love being able to save our supporters money while giving them a unique opportunity to support our charitable work in the community. I invite you to consider using Fun Night to save money and give back to your favorite cause. Visit www.funnight.us to sign up now and get a free 30-day trial. Save money, help others with Fun Night, and support Derek Brooks Charities.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B.
Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today. This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
The environment here is really kid-friendly, family-friendly. The parents are welcome to watch.
It's definitely been a different atmosphere since Dr. Becerra has come on. It's very inviting and welcoming, and the children just enjoy coming here all around.
My middle son did not like to come to the dentist, but now he loves to come to the Beehive.
You don't have to be afraid to go to the dentist.
Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Mortgages don't need to be complicated. At Norcom, we're here to guide you through the process. By following our tried and true path to success, we make homes happen. To get started, give us a call or apply online. A trusted mortgage consultant will reach out to you to find out what your goals are. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new home or refinance your current home, we are dedicated to helping you achieve your goals. At Norcom, we'll provide a best-in-class customer experience. Once a plan is established, your mortgage consultant will analyze your income, assets, and credit profile in order to customize a plan for you. If you're planning on moving in the next few years, we might suggest an adjustable rate mortgage to be the best option for you. If you're a veteran, we'll get you started on a VA loan with 0% down. And if you're thinking long-term, a 30-year fixed loan might be your best fit. Our professionals are up to date on market trends and will help you make the best decision in choosing your rate. After we've found the program that's best for you, we'll then need to collect some information, including pay stubs, bank statements, and tax forms. Our underwriting team steers a loan through the approval process to verify that all the information you've provided is correct. As the underwriting process is taking place, an appraisal is ordered to determine the value of your home. A professional, local appraiser specializing in your area will determine the home's value. The last leg of this journey is closing your loan. While taking care of any last-minute details, our closing team will work on scheduling your closing date and location. It's that simple. Thank you for taking some time to walk through the mortgage path with us. Remember, we're always here to answer any questions you may have. It may seem intimidating, but here at Norcom Mortgage, we make homes happen.
Hi everyone, welcome back into Prime Time. We are having a lot of fun here today. I'm your host, Barbara Marville. We've been talking about Doug Casimiri, talking about past life regression. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's so great to have you with us. This is something that has fascinated me for so many years, and I just can't wait to let everybody hear what you have to say and why you're involved with this. Now, you've had an interest in past life regressions ever since you were a child?
That's correct.
And you're now taking what has been a hobby and you're doing it full time. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So what got you involved? What got you started? Let's get right into this.
Well, basically, since I was a young child, I knew I was here before. I just had knowledge of things that I just should not have had at 8 years old.
Really?
Of finance, so many different things I had knowledge of that I should never realized. And that, actually, when as life moved forward a little bit, when I was 17 years old, I opened my first restaurant as a teenager after completing a degree, and ended up opening 13 of them. And by the age of 30, I had 13 restaurants, 250 employees. I never ran an office before. I never anything before, but the knowledge just seemed to be there, and it made me realize that there's so much more to life than what we see on the surface.
Really? So at that time, when you were getting all this knowledge and you couldn't figure out where it was coming from, that's what piqued your interest?
That's correct.
But what popped into your head about past life, of thinking you've been here because you just had to be something like that?
Yes, because I just knew things, and I didn't know where they came from, about a lot of different subjects, not just finance. Finance is the main subject. Then I got also involved in martial arts, spent years studying that also. And that led to it further, studying energy, you know, energy that surrounds the body, and made me realize that we're so much more than what we are here on the surface.
So much more than what we're reading in textbooks and what we learn in school. And I guess it hits everybody. Well, maybe it doesn't hit everybody, but most of us at one time or another in our life experience. It didn't hit me until later on in life, when I actually had the time to actually concentrate on all these different interests that I've had, to the point where it was like getting on my own nerves. Why do I like this? Why do I like that? Why am I interested in this? I've got to slow down. So then let's advance forward. Now, today you've just opened up an office.
That's correct.
So you're diving into this full time.
That's correct.
That's so great.
Completed my book on the subject, wrote a how-to book on the subject, and now I'm moving to the office full time.
That is so exciting. Your book is Christians Remember Your Past Lives, Learn How. It's a hardcover book. You can get this anywhere. Let's talk about the history and what you discovered through this. I mean,
well, originally when I was writing a how-to book on past life regression, it was funny. I mentioned to a friend of mine who was a professor at a religious university, and he looked at me like, you know, where I was out in left field, like, wow, you know, it doesn't sort of go with Christianity. So that led me to a long road to research. And basically, after 6 years of research, I realized, and it's in the book, everything in the book is well documented, well researched, that Christians, Jesus himself and his disciples were esteemed rabbis, and they taught precondition and they taught reincarnation. That was just part of who Jesus was. And so the Christian religion itself, before it was formed, all these different groups were around, and reincarnation was taken for granted at that time. And it wasn't until about the 3rd century after Jesus' death that the Emperor Constantine of Rome decided to create the Christian religion. So he called all these writings in, we call the Bible today, and Gospels in, and he sat down with, I guess, some group of priests himself, and they decided what we're going to have part of the Christian religion and what are we not going to have. And what they basically did, they removed reincarnation from Christianity, but it originally was there.
Interesting.
And the reason they did that, I mean, all this stuff is historical text, anybody can research themselves, but the reason they did that was they wanted total power and control, because they didn't want people thinking they came back again in any format. So that's why they did it, was for power and control. And then they went about and confiscated all the Bibles, and went around, and anybody didn't follow the exact dogma, well, naturally they were taken out of the picture. You know, and there was thousands of people murdered at that time over that issue.
That's very, well, you really did do your research, didn't you?
Yes, 6 years of it, actually.
Wow.
And I read every historical document you could possibly find, Dead Sea Scrolls, Gnostic Scrolls. As a matter of fact, the Gnostic Scrolls are the closest to Jesus' teachings. And the Gnostics, they were the ones that actually followed Jesus. And even up to this day, and again in the 5th century, 553, in Rome, when it was split between East and West Rome, they just had this big thing about reincarnation again, so they decided to have a vote. They called in the popes from, bishops from each side, the East and the West. It's funny, the pro-reincarnation people never made it. They were murdered on the way, which is historical fact. That the petition sent by the Gnostic Christians to reinstate reincarnation back into the Christian Bible, they weren't even read, they were burned. So they did everything they could to stop it from being put back into the Bible.
Wow, that is really fascinating, looking into
all that
knowledge.
It goes into the 10th century, the Spanish Inquisition. They chased them down in the caves. They murdered everybody that didn't follow the exact dogmas. So what happened at that time, the Christians who followed Jesus' original teachings, they were so afraid that really they eliminated everyone that went against the dogma that they wanted to teach.
Very interesting. So fast forwarding, and you may have kind of mixed feelings about this, but if you're sitting there and this is really piquing your interest and you're wondering, have you ever had a past life before? What kind of tips, is there something that you can recommend or mention to our audience that might sort of tap into the possibility of where they can go next?
I will just say this, that whether you believe in reincarnation or not, it really doesn't matter, because if you come to see me, you'll have past memories, I guarantee it. And most of the people that I find are my greatest followers are people that were non-believers originally. Because all of a sudden, sit in a chair, and usually the first regression you have is just list some general information, because you're kind of nervous, you don't know what to expect, and really it's just a fun time, it's relaxed. And by the second regression, and by the third, that's when your mind opens up, because what we're trying to do is trying to open up those pathways that are closed shut. Then the mind opens up, and the memories that come out, I've had clients where times, dates, we went and found out where they were buried. I mean, it's just a fascinating subject to actually go and find your own grave.
That is like really wild.
And it happened. Now, that doesn't happen all the time. That's what I call, that you get with that. But maybe 1 out of every 20 will get to the point where we actually do research and find his own grave.
So that's interesting in itself. Let's talk about when people are wondering why they are like they are. Like, I have a phobia going over bridges. I do. When my husband and I were in Canada, I put a magazine over my... Oh, you know the mountains in Canada because you're from Canada. I put a magazine over my face and I slid down on the floor in the car. And I stayed there. I don't know why.
Well, most people don't realize is that all our lifetimes, we carry the good and the bad with us forward.
Yes.
And usually what we carry forward are things that really were traumatic, whether traumatic positive event or traumatic negative event.
Sure.
But we do carry forward. That's what makes us who we are today. We are the total sum of all our lifetimes. Usually when I meet somebody, I can usually tell if they've been numerous lifetimes, and there's a certain air about them. And because they've been around multiple times, they've gained so much more knowledge, and usually those people are reasonably successful, not so much for money, but they just have success. They're relaxed to be around. If you don't feel like you're energized to be around, and also they're very open. I find that people who've been around a lot are very open to almost anything. And the other thing is they're very non-judgmental. So one of the key things that tells me when I meet somebody for the first time is, okay, we got a lot of lives here to look through. And I've been with people that I'm telling you right now that when I meet multiple lives, I've had one client that's over 10 lives, well documented.
Really?
Yes. So it's not just you had 1 life or 2 lives. Most people, from what I found, is at least had 5.
No kidding.
Most people that are searching at least had 5.
So you think the more lives that we have had, the crazier we are, or the
I think
more dysfunctional we are? What?
Well, I don't know if it's just more dysfunctional, but we talk about phobias, you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Most of phobias, we find that, and we ask people, well, how come you're afraid of fire? How come you're afraid of bridges? And you say, well, geez, I have no reason. I don't know why.
Exactly.
But actually, when you actually take them back to past lives, and that's what I do sometimes, if someone has a phobia, I'll take them right to where it happened. And we go right to that lifetime. We find out where it happened. And then we can, once it's the energy is brought to the surface, it diffuses the effect.
So it helps them in their present life.
Absolutely. I mean, you can move, as far as I'm concerned, unless you have past life regression 2 or 3 times, you're not going to be the best you can be in this lifetime. Matter of fact, there's so much research now, and this is not just on the fringe society, mainstream society, some of the well-known psychiatrists, that they're almost thinking that they should do past life on kids that are 12 and 13. Because what they could tell what the potential is for them for the future, whether they're going to be maybe, I don't want to say it, but maybe more criminally inclined or more disinclined. They can actually diffuse things that happened in a previous life to make them a better person into this lifetime. So there's a lot of research in that area right now.
That makes sense. Yeah. That really does make a lot of sense. I have another phobia, and that is water. Water. I don't like water on my face. I don't like going in swimming pools. Well, going over bridges. So
they're probably related, and we'll probably find out one day what that means.
So when we come back, we have a little commercial break coming back. I'm going to ask Doug how many lives he thinks I've had. And how much we're just going to have some fun, okay? So we'll take this little break, and when we come back, we're going to have more fascinating discussion on past lives. So we'll be right back after this.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B.
Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Hi, I'm Derek Brooks, former linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. During my NFL career, I realized the importance of giving back and started my foundation, Derek Brooks Charities. We help Tampa Bay youth prepare for a successful life through our college prep and mentoring programs. Our goal is to see youth excel academically and develop strong characters and be better citizens for tomorrow. To further our mission, we've teamed up with Fun Night, a company that gives members access to thousands of nationwide discounts on products and services they buy every day. These include entertainment, retail purchases, dining, and travel. Best of all, 33% of every membership fee goes to the charity of your choice. We love being able to save our supporters money while giving them a unique opportunity to support our charitable work in the community. I invite you to consider using Fun Night to save money and give back to your favorite cause. Visit www.funnight.us to sign up now and get a free 30-day trial. Save money, help others with Fun Night, and support Derek Brooks Charities.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B.
Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today. This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
The environment here is really kid-friendly, family-friendly. The parents are welcome to watch.
It's definitely been a different atmosphere since Dr. Becerra has come on. It's very inviting and welcoming, and the children just enjoy coming here all around.
My middle son did not like to come to the dentist, but now he loves to come to the Beehive.
You don't have to be afraid to go to the dentist.
Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Mortgages don't need to be complicated. At Norcom, we're here to guide you through the process. By following our tried and true path to success, we make homes happen. To get started, give us a call or apply online. A trusted mortgage consultant will reach out to you to find out what your goals are. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new home or refinance your current home, we are dedicated to helping you achieve your goals. At Norcom, we'll provide a best-in-class customer experience. Once a plan is established, your mortgage consultant will analyze your income, assets, and credit profile in order to customize a plan for you. If you're planning on moving in the next few years, we might suggest an adjustable rate mortgage to be the best option for you. If you're a veteran, we'll get you started on a VA loan with 0% down. And if you're thinking long-term, a 30-year fixed loan might be your best fit. Our professionals are up to date on market trends and will help you make the best decision in choosing your rate. After we've found the program that's best for you, we'll then need to collect some information, including pay stubs, bank statements, and tax forms. Our underwriting team steers a loan through the approval process to verify that all the information you've provided is correct. As the underwriting process is taking place, an appraisal is ordered to determine the value of your home. A professional, local appraiser specializing in your area will determine the home's value. The last leg of this journey is closing your loan. While taking care of any last-minute details, our closing team will work on scheduling your closing date and location. It's that simple. Thank you for taking some time to walk through the mortgage path with us. Remember, we're always here to answer any questions you may have. It may seem intimidating, but here at Norcom Mortgage, we make homes happen.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Prime Time. I'm your host Barbara Marvel, and we are interviewing Mr. Doug Casimiri, and I'm just so fascinated by what you're talking about with past life regressions. Before the break, I said I was going to ask Doug, and I'm going to right now. When we first met, which was at the seminar on Friday night.
That's correct.
What did you see that I had a lot of past lives, or any past lives?
Probably not. Only joking. No, basically no. I mean, it's obvious the work that you're doing, you and Dennis are doing, obviously that you guys have been here multiple times. Because people that take that mantra on know a lot more than other people know. And they've been on here many times. You've probably been everything there is to be. By the way, most of us have been every race that have been around a long time, and both gender. So, we're able to, we'll find that that's where the non-judgment, because, we've been there. We've been in almost everybody else's shoes. We know what it feels like, no matter what it is. And that's why we're able to bring people together, exactly as you and your husband are doing now. And that tells me that you've been around quite a few times.
That's interesting. That is so interesting. Now, I know we don't have a whole lot of time, but I do want to mention that we're doing a Wisdom of the Ages meetup group this Thursday from 6 to 8 at Crescent Oaks. Doug is going to be speaking there, so if you want to show up, there's no cost for the event. Come join us, and we're going to have Helena, who was here last week, and she's going to be talking about What's Your Story, author-publisher, and I understand the two of you guys are hooking up.
Yes, it's for my next book.
That's great.
It's almost complete.
That is so awesome. So during the break, you were telling us about a gentleman that came to you for past life regression.
That's correct.
And let's share with our audience exactly what happened.
Well, what happened was he was a gentleman immigrated from Asia originally. And the main reason he immigrated here was because he had this fascination with the Civil War. But when he arrived in the United States, he had to go to every historical spot, and that was all they did on vacation. Or any moment they had to find out where they're going to go. They're going to go to this monument, this battle, and he knew everyone.
Ooh.
So, but at the same time, his wife was saying that every time he went to these places, he was overwhelmed with grief.
Oh.
And so finally, someone said, well, maybe you should come and see me because he's outside the regular thing. You might be able to take it in a different direction. So he came to see me, and here we found out, I can't get all the details, but basically what happened was he was in charge as his nephew. And his nephew was 14 years old, and he wasn't allowed to be in the military, but he said, okay, I'll take care of you. And what I found out too, they were in this battle in Marietta, Georgia, which I never knew we had a Civil War battle here. It was kind of new to me. And then there was a terminology that was used that I can't even begin to tell you, that it was hard for me to understand. Remember, he's from China, and all of a sudden he's speaking American, but like a Southern slang with different terminologies that was used. And so we did research to find out the words that were used with different soldiers and different categories they had for what it meant. But so anyway, they were in the Battle of Marietta, Georgia, and he told me about this church they're in, and they were surrounded by the black troops. I forget which word they had for them there, and they started firebombing the church. And so his nephew ran out, and as his nephew ran out, he said, don't run, don't run. His nephew ran out, they hunted him down, and he watched them kill his nephew. Then he said the fire was so intense, he ran out, made a run for it, and he said he felt them chasing him and chasing him and chasing him. And he said finally he just felt a shot in the back of the head. It took him down. He said then they stabbed him down before he passed away. He said just remembers him, calling him every name in the book and kicking him and kicking him and kicking him. And I thought, well, okay, and I said to him, okay, now let's go back. We went through this took about 4 or 5 regressions, this stuff, get all this information. So we went back and I said, okay, you remember your name? Yeah, he remembered his name. Okay, let's find out, remember where you're buried? He goes, yeah, Marietta, Georgia. Oh, Marietta, Florida, sorry. So we researched the Civil War archives and we found his name. We found where he's buried. We found the date, 1865, where they actually burned the church down. They went to the church where it was burnt, what he ran out of. I mean, it was just truly amazing that all this came together, which goes to show you that even though he was born in China, it doesn't make any difference. Because we could be because energy really has no boundaries. There's no country. Just because you're born in the United States. I've had people that speak in accents from different countries, even though they're born in Canada or the United States. So it really doesn't matter what country you're born in.
That's amazing. Yeah. That is so amazing. So if somebody wanted to go into the past life regression, where did they get started? Obviously, they can contact you.
Yes.
And if you want to give your telephone number, and your website is behind us, I believe.
Telephone number is 727-277-9056.
And they start with one regression, but you recommend
several.
Three.
I recommend three. I mean, you know, we can do three. That way we're going to get the most where we have to go, and you're going to get the most in your memories.
Do you find that some people are more resistant than others?
Yes.
Okay.
Some people who, you know, basically the ones that are sort of initially non-believers are a little more resistant. And the first one, you know, we just relax with each other. We maybe break a little through here and there. Then the second one, it gets better. By the third one, we open that mind right up, and they have memories that are flowing through. I brought one woman in the middle of childbirth. We had to stop and back up because she was in the middle of childbirth, and the pain came right to her right away. And that was, you know, childbirth 150 years ago. Wow. So it's, yes, so sometimes in those situations, you just got to know how to take them back through it, you know what I mean, and take them out of the situation. But it does happen.
That is amazing. So in the first one, did you ever have anybody have major breakthroughs in one?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
What would make that happen to somebody that you would normally take, you know, maybe 2 or 3, 4 or 5 sessions? What do you think it is? Do you think somebody is really like open for that would, or doesn't it matter?
I think, well, basically, I think it has a lot to do with your relaxation level.
Ah, okay.
And, you know, when they come to see me, it's very relaxed. We have a good time, we laugh, you know, we joke, because it is, nothing can hurt you. And a lot of it is more fun than anything else to find out who you were before. I mean, who doesn't want to know that to begin with, right? So it's very relaxed, but those that can relax quickly, we can get down at the first one, we can find a lot of information. The ones that are sort of really, you know, basically uptight and just find it hard to relax, then that might take us, you know, maybe 1 or 2 or up to 3 to really get where we have to go with that.
Do you think you find that might be with people that are a little bit more troubled and trying to get some answers for their life to maybe improve it?
I've never really looked at it that way, but I'm sure that's there.
Well, that's me overthinking everything and trying to get into your head, right?
Yeah, I just sit there and guide them the best I can. And then, you know, also too, when they're with you, the key factor in when I work with people is intuitiveness. I have to really know where we have to go, you know, where we have to lead them, the questions we have to ask, and when to move on, when to change lives. And then a lot of times, once you've had 3 or 4 regressions with me, I'll take you through your death experience, where, you know, we'll actually go through the whole process of you dying and coming out the other side, because the other side is more fascinating than this side. And the other side's a whole show in itself. Wow. When we talk about the blueprint for your life and why you chose your parents, and this is the whole area that is fascinating.
I have several books on Kindle that I've been reading about that, and some other therapists that have done this very same thing, and I'm like glued to it. I find it so fascinating. Don't you? Have you ever thought about this? Have you even given it one thought? Have you delved into it? Maybe you have had a past life regression, or maybe you would like to. You'll have to contact Doug Casimiri. Come to our meetup group this Thursday from 6 to 8 at Crescent Oaks Golf and Country Club. Come right into the private dining room there. Doug's going to be speaking, and it's going to be a great evening. We'll have to have you back again.
I want to
know more about this. This is just so fascinating. So, one last little couple of tidbits you want to share with our audience on how they might decide how, when, why, or whatever is going to make them want to do this.
I think that every person should have a past life regression, at least one. It'll clear up so many things in your present life. Even if you have no issues or you think you don't,
right?
Just to know where you came from is fascinating knowledge in itself. But I find most people, once we take them back, we find out there's a lot of things. And what I try to do too is I try to take away the negative part, and, you know, when I do bring them out, I try to make sure to maintain the positive things they've gathered over the centuries and remove the negative. So when you come back into this lifetime, you're going to have a little different look at it.
I would think you feel different too.
You'll feel different. You'll feel more empowered, and basically you'll know that death doesn't exist. We just change form.
I love it.
Yeah.
This has been so fascinating. Doug, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And we'll have you back. And of course, we hope to see you at our meetup group this Thursday. We'll see you next Monday as well, live at 5. And you can always go to our brand new website, www.primetimetvshow.com. You can also check out in the archives and review all the shows that we've already done so far. Thanks for shopping with us with our show here at Primetime TV.